to #1 channel. My name is Davy Chams, coming live from Guest Images Studios, bringing you different types of stories. And if you're watching this channel for the first time, remember to subscribe, drop a comment there, and hit a like. My guest today has a story she went through during her young age, like a toddler. She was molested by a house girl. But without further ado, allow me to let my guest introduce herself. Yes, Mami, introduce yourself to audience.
My name is Fab MK. I am a student at Kenya Science and a teacher in practice in Betmugo High School. I'm a firstborn in our family. We are 4. Yes.
Yeah. You told me you have a story like from back in your childhood.
Yes.
Something weird happened, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe if you can just take us through, like how it started. Okay, let's first start how you were born. How was life like growing up? Yeah.
I was born. Both of my parents are alive, so I thank God. They took care of me. I love my parents so much. Daddy was a little bit harsh, but we have grown to understand that. Then I have my brother. So life was good until it wasn't, because you see, my parents used to go to hustle, like to look for food, to look for fees, rent, to keep us comfortable. And my brother was very small. I mean, he used to crawl. He was just a toddler. Yeah, alichelewa kutembea.
Oh, your young brother.
Yeah, alichelewa kutembea. So mimi ndio nilikuwa hapo around him. So what dad and mom did, because they were going very early in the morning and coming very late, they hired a nanny in the house. So the first nanny was okay, didn't have any problem. So she went, and then now the second one came. At the age of 4, I can remember that particular day very well. You see, now it is in the morning. Mom and dad are going very early in the morning, leaving us, my young brother and me. Now because my brother is not able to walk, he had a problem, a heart problem. So that is the reason why we could not walk at an early age. So we would remain with this nanny as normal, and a clean nyumba vizuri, tupikie chai, like everything was fine until mid-morning, around saa 4. So what she did, because it was a girl, anaenda anavua nguo, then anakuja sitting room. So brother yangu ni mdogo kabisa, yeye hajui kutembea. So yeye hakuwa anajua what is happening. So because I walk and I'm the firstborn in the house, she would remove her clothes, anakuja ananitoa hata mimi nguo, anakuja ananilalisha kwa kiti, alafu ananichukua, like ananipull up and down. So at that reason, like I didn't know, you see, I'm a child, my mind is so new, na nataka like na jioni ikifika, nao jioni singeweza kuongelesha wazazi wangu. Juu dad na mom wanatoka job, mimi nimechoka, nasikia kulala juu bado ni mtoto. Wanatuletea crepes, tunakula, and that is how we go to sleep. So it would continue for around 8 months. You see, I was just 4 until ile siku yenye alienda. Na mama yangu na baba yangu hawakujua. They never asked, which I cannot blame, because I was very sleepy and I was a child. Sikuwa na ile time na wazazi wangu ya kuwaongelesha.
Did this happen?
8 months.
8 months?
Yes.
And she used to do this like every day? So you didn't know anything?
Like I didn't share with them. You see, on Saturday is also a day where my parents go to work. On Sunday, it's a church day. So we prepare to go to church. Like there was no direct communication. See, when you go to church, sisi tunapelekwa Sunday school, wazazi wetu wanaenda church ya watu wakubwa. So like we didn't have direct conversation with my parents since I was a child. Yeah. So I grew to be a silent kid. Sikuwa nawaambia kitu yoyote. Yeah.
So like did your mom notice something like, okay, let me put it this way. Did your mom ever spend time with you during that time, like when you were still kid? your parents, let me say so, maybe weekends, or they used to go to work like every day?
They used to go to work. You see, they were not working for the government, so they had to work to get money. So we didn't have like that mama daughter talk or daddy. If it's school time, it's school time. And you see, when I did a mistake, daddy used to hit us, or like he was just tough. So I could not imagine myself talking to my father. I knew my dad was lion in the house, you see. So it was really
harsh, like,
yes.
to you guys.
And see, we didn't have time.
Oh yes.
Kwa sababu wanatoka asubuhi wanarudi jioni, from Monday to Saturday. And the little time we have, it's like planned, programmed. Like this is what we're going to do and that is it. Kama ni kuenda showground, we are going to go at this place and this place and go back home. Like everything was programmed. There was no time like they would ask like in details. Nini ilikufanyikia leo? So that you see as a kid, I believe ningeweza kusema mom leo auntie alifanya. But because I didn't have that platform, sikuwa yonge.
But you could speak that time.
I wish I would, but I didn't have the chance.
You knew how to, there's a age that you...
4 years I was able to speak.
Yeah, 4 years you grew.
And you see, I was a clean mind then, because I would speak really. If you ask me what is wrong with me, yeah, like it was an age where I would tell what was happening, but see, I didn't have the chance.
So you didn't share with anyone?
Not
even your relatives, a friend?
Relatives.
That time.
You see, now that is another one. In our home, like we don't know like all of our relatives, and you see, my mother and my father are in Nakuru. The next relative I know, they are in Kisumu. Others like they are far away, so I could not have anyone to share.
So even the relatives used not to visit you, or even friends to play.
They would visit, but they would be busy with my parents. Exactly.
How was life? How was your life like with your parents? Were they keeping you like under zero grazing, that like keeping in the house throughout? Or did they allow you to play like in a normal child outside?
Yes, we would play with normal children, and I would introduce what I was being shown with my auntie.
To these kids?
Innocently, not knowing. And then it affected me in such a way that I always felt trapped under my own skin. So I felt boyish more than a girl, because you see, the responsibility that this girl was giving me, it was for a boy, so to say. So you see, when you're going to play with other kids, Chamama, this is what I would introduce to them. I would say, you see, my auntie used to show me this, so let's learn together, you see. Yeah.
Then what would these kids say?
They would do the same. Now, then it was a little bit different because they were doing their opposites, but me didn't feel okay doing my opposite. Yeah. So in short, like, this is how I got into being a lesbian more than, because I was trapped, I didn't know. And then even when my parents would bring me girls' clothes, I didn't like them until now.
Okay, now let me take you back. This house girl, after doing this all this, how was it like? How did she used to behave in front of your parents or before your parents? Because I'm sure your parents would come back from work, right? And they will communicate with this house girl. They will ask her how the baby or the babies in the house, how they spend the day. How was it like? How was she that time?
See, now her facial expression, I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know
because you see that conversation with them and my parents.
Yeah, you could not.
I
could not understand.
Yeah.
So then, day after, you of course you grew up.
Yeah.
How was life like your growing up life?
The first thing, I felt trapped. That's for one. I felt trapped, like there was a boy trapped in my girl's skin. So like I didn't want to relate with girls as much, like in a normal ground, So I would do things that were not expected of me. Like I preferred riding these tires, kwa mlima. I preferred playing football, more than having dolls. And like I just preferred trousers and short hair. I would even defend my brother. There was a time somebody injured my brother and I defended my brother so harshly. So like I was the brother he got, you see?
Okay.
Yeah.
Then now from there I'm sure you went to school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How
So
was life in school like?
I went to, now my parents took me to boarding school at class 4. It was a mixed boarding school, so it was a help to me because I think I would relate with the boys more than with the girls. So I would stay with them. I would really want to know what they're doing, like if it's reading, how much. So I became very good in sciences actually, more than in languages, which is oppositely. Yeah. So in Form 1, I went to a girls' school. Yeah. Now that's when trouble began. So my parents took me to this girls' school. It was hard, really hard. I could not take a shower in the same bathroom because you see, now when you go to boarding school, there's this mass bathing. So it's either I wake up very early in the morning or I wake up late when everyone has showered. I could not mass bathe. Like I had to go to that cube and shower. I could not just wear clothes before them. Like it was not good, and I could not even see them. Yeah.
So it was hard for you to do the normal culture thing.
Exactly, because you see, it reminded me of the picture.
Yeah.
And you see now, for me, I have this pictographic mind. I remember things in details. So I see them. I see my auntie, and that figure to date is not as good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So did you continue like being in that school? Was it in a boarding or?
I could not. I was sick, and I feel sick. I felt that sickness was depression because at some point my parents came. I was really sick, and they took me to a counselor. So I knew I will never meet this counselor ever again if I just have to talk about it. So I talked about it, and she promised she would tell my parents. And so what she did, she just told my parents to change the school. So I went to a normal day school where there is boys and girls.
Mixed school.
Exactly. Yeah.
Day or boarding?
It was a day school.
How was it like life there?
It was free for me. I felt free, like now this is the place I need to be. Like now I have my colleagues, you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I felt more comfortable. Even in class, I said I was very good in sciences, math, physics, bio, and chemistry. My languages I was very poor.
Okay.
Not very poor, but you see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would do this with the boys. When you come to class, you just see. And then this school, I went to this day school in Nakuru, and the day school, they had separated. It was a class for girls, class for boys. And so what I did, I had to be really good. And see, I was number 1, and then the second one who's following me is very far. So they decided like they're wasting my potential, so they have to mix us.
Oh yeah. So
I was so excited.
So you made the whole school, you know.
Yeah.
You made the school to be mixed like boys and girls.
Exactly, in a class. So the administration was like, we are wasting this potential. Because you see, I would beat all the boys in math, and then they were like, I think the boys need to be around this girl so that they can work harder. And so they mixed us in Form 2. And I went to a physics class. And you see, you could enter that class and see like I was the only girl sitting in a whole row of boys. And I was so comfortable. Very comfortable. Yeah.
So how was life like that time now?
Enjoyed gossiping and saying stuff about other girls, but it didn't feel like that. You see, now when I'm with the guys, we're talking about football. We would talk about World Cup. You see, we would talk about how we're going to defeat one another in math, or how many girls they have dated. You see, like it was not an enclosed conversation where I would feel offended. Like that was the room I needed. Yeah.
And then you said your mom took you to a counselor. Before you went to this school.
Yes.
Did this counselor ever, open up to your mom?
No.
She kept it as a secret.
Yes, she
Okay.
just said the girl need to move from the school. Yeah.
Now another question maybe, here you're in primary, boarding, then you went to high school, right? Campus life.
Even before campus life, you see, I was in day school and people used to tell my mom, you see, I when I need something, I do it like 100+%.
Who told you? Who? When you need something?
Yeah, when I need something, like I work so hard. So my people used to tell my parents, oh, this girl is spending a lot of time in school. You see, then we were not in very good terms with my dad. So for me in my life, the only thing I have known is to escape. So if I'm in trouble, I escape. So if I was not in a good relationship with my dad, the only place I felt safe was in school. So in Form 2 I used to go from Monday to Saturday. In Form 3 up to Sunday I used to go to school. So that I have the limited time with my parents, like habari, uzuri. And I used to go to bed.
Reason being because of your, your dad used to beat you every time? Or?
We did not get along, you see.
Okay.
Yeah, we did not get along as much.
I understand you, yeah.
It's not like I don't like him, it's just the things he wanted me to do, I could not do them. So that would really create a rift between us. So yeah, so I had to avoid it. So in high school they would tell my mom, oh, Sidri, this one is going to the boyfriend. And then I told my mother, you just wait until I do my cases and then we'll see which boyfriend I have. Yeah, so I passed my papers and I went to campus. As you say, campus is freedom.
Yeah.
It's a lot of freedom. You get to do what you want. And you see, it's when I found the LGBTQ community and blah, blah, blah. And I was like intelligent. You see, I'm very silent actually. Very approximately 100% silent. But you see, in my corner, what I do more research. Like I depend on internet, what people are saying. Like that's where I feed myself. That's my friendly world. So I would know about the LGBTQ. And you see, I used to encourage myself, it is right. Like I used to encourage myself, it is right. And you see in campus,
LGBTQ, maybe audience, for the sake of audience, just elaborate a bit.
It is a community for lesbians, gay, LGBT, bisexuals, transgenders, and pansexuals, I guess.
Yeah.
So I used to feel myself as a member. You see, when watching movies, I would watch movies that would relate to LGBTQ community because I wanted to belong to something. And so when I started going to church, not like I've not been going, see now at home, my parents were like, you have to go to this specific church. And I was like, no, I don't want to go to this specific church. So I was just going because they were saying, I have to be in this specific church. This is my dad's church, so I have to be there. So when I came here, I really wanted to change that. So on my way to town, one day just decided to take a walk to town. And then on the way, I saw Nairobi Baptist Church. So I got relate because in nursery school, I used to go to Baptist. So, and that school was so good. Even with frustrations at home, I just felt safe. So I wanted to go to the church. When I went to the church, I found a pastor who guided me. Actually, he didn't tell me it was wrong.
You were, that time you were in which year in campus?
I was in first year.
First year,
Yes,
okay.
I was in first year. So he didn't tell me it was wrong. No.
You opened up to him?
Actually, I could not open up to any lady in church. So I feel like these are not my people. So one day he's like, okay, you're telling me these things. I thought like you should tell a lady or somebody else, like your gender or something. I'm not compatible. I'm not compatible.
Maybe let me ask you, when you're telling, what made you like feeling like telling them? Did you feel like you wanted to come out or you wanted to open up?
I felt it was too obvious. Like the voices of LGBTQ are so loud. It's not because the community is so big, they are small, but they are very loud. You see me, when something is very loud, it is very wrong.
Yeah.
So I felt like maybe I need to ask. And then another thing is that when I was on campus, I had a friend, a lecturer who was called, she passed on. She was called Dr. Nelson Marie. So Dr. Nelson used to take me when I was being exiled. You see, he used to take me, and then we'd read the Bible together. And then there was this one day we were reading, I don't know if it's Deuteronomy or Leviticus, it's one of those. And then the word, they stick to my mind up to date, that the Lord detests homosexuality. So that was a boom. Like, what? So from then, guilt just started coming up, and I didn't know what to do because my identity was messed up since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I decided to, and this pastor, what happened, like, he was a consistent help to me. So he would take me for tea, I don't know, and just listen to what I have to say, you see. So it went on for a long time until I felt like I would trust him with that information, and he didn't know my parents or anyone, so no one would know except him. And with the idea that I've always had in my head, like, it's not easy for men to be telling people things. So we sat there with him that day, and I told him, and he didn't feel puzzled or surprised. He was just like, maybe I can give you articles to go and look at. So he started giving me articles.
So that was after now trying to tell the Baptist church, I mean the pastor there.
Yeah. So see, he was the one who helped me. He was sending articles. So these articles was about sexuality of a person. And so I just started changing and loving myself. I had a lot of issues. My self-esteem was low first. I didn't like being dark. I was like, Mom, all of your sisters are brown skin. Why would you people black? You see, like, I had a lot of issues fighting inside me. And so the first appreciation was like, oh, okay, I'm dark. Dark is beauty, and I appreciated myself. And then the second thing was like, I started myself. I just went and got a few dresses, and I would wear them and I would feel comfortable. And so I think that was a turning point.
After reading these articles?
Yeah, after reading these articles. Like he wanted me to identify on my own that it is not okay. As much as the voices are very loud, they have their representative, I don't know where, but it is not okay. Yeah.
Wow. Now, did you ever open up to your parents?
It's not my parents are bad or they don't listen, but
especially, I'm still on this point of girlfriend. I mean, house help. This nanny. Did you ever open up to your parents what she did to you?
No.
Up to now?
No, I did when I was on campus. So I did open up to them when I was on campus. There was this day we were having an argument at home with my dad. And so I told him, you see, you never listen. So what if I told you I was gay sometimes back? Would you have listened to me?
You told your dad?
Yeah, in an argument actually. And then, like, he never responded until the next day. And then my mom asked, was that even true? And I told her, yeah, it was true.
Who asked? Mom? She asked you?
The way I've grown with my parents, like, you just don't tell my parents things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that is what I, like, I would think very different simulations. What if I told dad and dad to do this? Okay, what if I told mom and mom told dad and dad decided to do this? What if I told both of them and they would do this? Like, all the simulations was bringing downfall. So I decided not to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, after now, it seemed like you changed after reading these articles. Things started changing?
Yeah. You see, I'm wearing earrings. So
yeah, you can see. Okay. So far, how is everything now?
Right now I'm okay. 100%. It has been a journey. You see, it was lesbianism. I started feeling like I was bisexual, which was totally okay. He used to tell me it was totally okay feeling that, because now you are changing from liking women, because I could not stay with them in the same room because I'm seeing them. That is not okay with me. It was never okay. So being bisexual means you love both men and women. So that was like a change for me. It was a transformation for me. And then now I'm straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. There's this thing, there's some people, what you went through.
Yeah.
Number one, I understand, and I hope you understand. It wasn't your fault. It was something that happened to you innocently, while young, innocent soul. And having said that, there are people outside there also, or young girls, or even boys, went or going through what you went through. What do you tell them? Like, so I'm sure you've learned something. I'm sure you have some, you've learned something from that experience. So what do you tell those people going through the same, or they happen, go through the same, healing is a process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you tell them?
I just tell them to find someone to talk to. You see, I didn't have someone for a very long time. And it's not actually because I continue to say this because maybe one day or another my parents are going to watch this. It's not because my parents are bad. No, it's because they were looking for a future for me. You see, I needed fees, I needed clothing, and I needed food.
Yeah.
So they were going to work to get them. And so they didn't have enough time for me. So let them just find someone to talk to. I found someone, though I can't say it was late, it was just the right time for me to find someone to talk to. Yeah.
And then also, parents. You see, your parents did not have time with you, though it wasn't also their wish, because they were outside there looking for something to put on the table and also take you to school. So what do you tell parents about the situation that happened to you? The parents who are always away from their kids. So what do you tell them? Because I'm sure you've learned.
I said we are 4. So for us too, it was like a manuscript for parenting, for our parents. They didn't have any manuscript. So we were practical, something like that. And you see now my siblings, they never went through that. Because my mother would carry my brother and my sister and go to work.
Then leave you.
This is the point.
Yes.
They would go with them. Literally saizi mama yangu, you see, yeye huwa anauza vitu za soko. So yeye huwa anawachukua. Kama leo anachukua my brother, my small brother, anamwambia tuende nipeleke hizi vitu.
Yes.
On the way, they are talking.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Mama, you see, this is what I go through. Even they would say, Mama, you see, nilienda kwa kina nani, this is what happened. Now they have a conversation. And then sometimes my dad anaweza kuja home awamwambie, ebu va, tunaenda town. You see, now they have time to talk to them, which we didn't have. Exactly. You see, and I cannot blame them.
Yeah.
So even with parents, I just want to urge them, hey, watoto upitia.
True.
Well, watoto upitia, and most of them are like me. They are very silent. You see me, I'm very silent. I can have something and don't talk about it even for a year. When I was, this now is kidogo out, when I was in Form 4, I was kidnapped, almost raped, when I was coming from school. So nilikuwa nasomea day school.
Day school, yes.
So mimi nimetoka usiku shule, normally, nimepanda gari, and you see, on those days nilikuwa napanda gari hizi, yani gari yote inakuja mimi nitapanda. Sikuwa najua ni ya wapi. And it was just used to be safe for me until sasa kuna time nimepanda Nissan. Hii Nissan haikuwa na mtu. Jamaa nilipeleka hadi Njoro. kwa msitu. So ni mimi to plead, oh, I'm very sorry. Like usinifanyie kitu, I'm sick. Niko na I had just to lie. It was just one person.
Driving you.
Yeah. And mimi ndoto nikamwambia nishukisha kakata. So I had this story for a year and a half. So kuna siku dada amekuja kunivisit. Nikamwambia unatokea shule. Na nikakuwa kidnapped. Ilimstua sana. Mbona hukusema?
So what used to make you like shy away from sharing with your parents such
I just felt. Nikwambia mimi before I tell you something, I have to think.
Oh yeah.
A lot. I overthink. You see, I'm a loner. I think a lot. I reflect. So in between those thinking, I have to predict how will you react when I tell you something. So I was like, if I tell my parents about this story, then I'm not getting out of school very late. That is the only time I have over the boarding school guys. That is the only time I have to study. If I go home early, I have to cook. I have to do other things. That will compromise my education, and I have to go to the university whether I like it or not. So I didn't tell them. Okay. I campus.
Wow.
Yeah.
So far, are you now done with your campus?
I'm not graduated.
Not
yet.
Oh, you're in 4th year graduating. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, viewers, that's the story of Fab. Let me call you Fab.
Yeah.
Fabri? It is Fab?
Fabrice.
Yeah, Fabrice has a story there. And I'm sure viewers, so many kids are suffering silently outside there. And, some parents also are always not with their kids, are always not, they always don't create time for their kids. So this story has a lot of meaning, and has a lot of, it's making a lot of sense. So if your parent there may be watching this channel, watching this story here, story of Fabrice, hope you've learned something. And if your kid there, maybe you're going through something, house girl, nanny, take him through something, please do not shy. Kids nowadays, they're always on internet, right? They access anything, unlike before. So they are watching maybe this channel. Make sure, share out your story. Share out your story with a friend, sibling, dad, and even, anybody you feel like this is more comfortable to share with. So maybe the last words before you wind up. Last words on that camera. Yeah, the last word you can tell the world generally.
So I just want to say that for me, I'm so thankful to Pastor Pinto from Nairobi Baptist Church, because he's the one who helped me. I've always gained help from other people, including Justus from Shared Moments. They continue just to check up on me. And for me, I've also decided to share stories of high school students because I'm with them mostly. So what I'm doing in my YouTube channel is to share their stories. They have so many, and for that I just want to keep them in school. You see, in day school, people are dropping out of school, and I have noticed that especially in my own school, people are getting pregnant and they don't have a future. So in my YouTube channel, I'm just sharing their story, what they're passing through, hoping I will help a student not to drop out of school because of problems. Yes.
Okay, tell them your YouTube channel so that you can subscribe.
Yeah, my YouTube channel is called FabMK. Instagram account is also FabMK.
So what's your content? Maybe they can. What your content on the YouTube channel?
I share the story.
Oh, you share the story of students.
Students, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So guys, Fab has a YouTube channel, so you can go there and watch and also subscribe and learn something from there. So that brings us to the end of our show today. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, Davy Chams. And if you're new, maybe the first time watching, make sure you do subscribe, and also subscribe to our YouTube. How can they reach you, like, apart from YouTube? If you wouldn't mind, would you give the number contacts already?
Yes, the contacts. My contacts are 07 57 629 809.
Yeah, and we shall also be putting on this screen. So we are very much gratefully Thank you so much for coming to our show, Fab. We look forward to see you going places and even counseling other young teenagers.
Yes.
So thank you so much. See you viewers in next video.